No. On my last video, I got a comment that said this. What a joke. You don't need any of this refrag or practice bullshit to get good. Everything is experience, and you'll never recreate experience as well as your own teaching in a live game when pressure is on, etc., etc. So many more factors add up. Practice is just for warming up. Level 10 face it with a 2 KD. So don't get me wrong, it's very easy to laugh at this comment. I'm not gonna lie. I love how he mentioned his KD like it's Call of Duty or something. In my opinion, just does not matter in Counter-Strike at all. But there is some nuance to it that I don't know if he was trying to convey this, but I think it's pretty interesting, okay? First though, I am gonna make fun of it a little bit. So let's break this down, okay? So recreate experience, that's what he says, right? You know, honestly, I'm kind of struggling to read this. He says you'll never recreate experience as well as your own teaching in a live game. I'm assuming he means through practice. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous. Isolated practice is quite literally recreating the experience of something in a live game. That is the whole point of it. If it isn't doing that, then it's not a good practice and you're probably wasting your time. But thankfully, we have something like refrag, which is a perfect example of recreating something from a live game and isolating it so you can practice it. So let's talk about the spray transfer game mode, for example. You almost need to train your brain to even attempt to start a spray transfer while you're in game, right? And the next problem is getting good at it. You only get like a handful of times that you can spray transfer in a game. All right, so let's say a game is between like 20 to 40 minutes usually. I don't know. But you're only getting 2 to 5, maybe more, you know, if you're putting yourself in crazy situations, time to actually practice your spray transfer if you're doing what this guy did. That's not very good. I mean, if you're trying to get better at spray transfer, which is pretty important once you get to higher levels, like you're gonna have to be able to kill multiple people with one spray. That's not very good turnover time, you know what I mean? You're gonna have to play a lot of games, put in a lot of hours to get good at your spray transfer alone, on top of trying to train your brain to even make that decision while under pressure. I don't know how someone would do that unless they're very young, right? But if you go into refrag, you can isolate that practice and your transfers literally as long as you want. I know for a while, it was pretty hard for me to be like, oh, I can spray transfer here, like mid-game or mid-round, I guess. But after doing the refrag practice, I just do it automatically. And it turns out for the better. Majority of the time, I get both kills, 3 kills, whatever. The next one, which I think this one's just ridiculous. Practicing is for warming up. I mean, what a quote. What a quote, really. What? If you have played like any sport or even know about professional sports or any sports at all, you're probably already laughing at this. It's pretty insane of a take. I mean, if professional athletes, and this is like billions of dollars per year industry, spend a lot of their time, if not most of their time, practicing stuff, I think it is obvious that it works. I mean, that's literally it. And you know, some of you that disagree might be thinking, well, this is a video game, not professional sports. And you are right. Good job. Great observation. But that doesn't change the fact that the best way to accelerate your performance is by practicing. If your goal is to get better, you need to spend time practicing so you don't spend thousands of hours just bulk playing games before you get good at something. Now I'm going to talk about the nuance behind this goofy comment because I think it is, you know, something to talk about, really. So I'm going to try to say what I think he meant, but in a less rage baity way. There is absolutely a problem with over practicing. It's really easy to do. And in sports, like when you were a kid or whatever, you know, you can practice all you want, but you always got that game on Saturday. So you could just spend all your time practicing, then you play the game. But when you're playing something like Counter-Strike, you are choosing when you play the game. So you need to make sure that you actually play the game. There's no set date and time. I mean, I know I have gotten caught in this trap where I'm just sitting there practicing instead of actually playing the game. I mean, I'm even doing that now, but that's mostly because I don't have too much time. I say that, but it's me not having time is more so because of Schedule 1 and the Steam Deck right now. I am going to make a review on the Steam Deck, but I want to give it time to see if I stop using it so much or if I'm just going to be addicted to it forever. I don't know how long that'll be, but maybe I'll slow down my Steam Deck time. Who knows? I think a lot of this is due to match anxiety, which it's, you know, some of you may laugh, whatever, but that's a real thing. I mean, it is just a video game. You need to remind yourself at the end of the day, like, but I always say, like, don't care about what rank you are. Just keep trying to get better, and your rank will go up anyway. Like, your goal is to just, whatever you are practicing, get better at that. And it's like a wheel where you'll keep coming back. Maybe some parts of your wheel are shitty, but eventually you'll smooth it out. It'll be a good wheel. Okay. Does that make any sense? There's definitely, you can get sucked into just practicing too much and not playing the game. And I think the way to get around this is by setting a time limit on how much you can practice. That way you have lots of time to just play whatever game you want. So if you're doing, say you want to do refrag, and then you also maybe are aim training. So, you know, split that time up. Maybe you do, like, I don't know, if you want to do like an hour a day, maybe do the 15-minute refrag and then aim training the rest. Or you can do the opposite. You can aim train for 15 minutes. Just figure out some sort of system for yourself where you're not going to over practice, and set very hard boundaries with yourself. Make sure you're not going over and getting too sucked into it. Because I know for me, my big issues with over practicing, honestly, was like deathmatch and retakes and aim training. Those three, you can just sit there and play forever over and over again, especially retakes and deathmatch. I mean, you can just get sucked in. Sometimes the only way, like, you know, this is back in my high school days, sometimes the only way I knew I needed to stop fucking playing deathmatch is when my arm would get tired. I mean, how dumb is that? Same with aim training. When my arm got tired, I was like, oh god, I need to stop. And it's just like, what was I even doing? I could have just spent like 30 minutes of focused practice. It would have been so much better, like practicing and time. Oh, cat. Also, another way to not waste your time practicing, say you set your limit of 1 hour of practice, right? You need to make sure that entire time you're practicing, you are doing focused practice. Say, for example, so this is what I used to do. I would aim train, and I thought just because I was doing the act of aim training, I was going to hop into game and get better. I almost thought of it like a gym or something, where say you're maybe this isn't even the best, but you know, you lift the weights and then you're going to get stronger, right? But the problem is, even with the gym, if you're not lifting weights where you're trying to add weight every day, you're not gonna get that strength. And then the same thing with aim training and stuff like that. You gotta teach yourself little things within the aim training. And it's the same thing with practicing for any game. You need to teach yourself little things, making sure you're focused every single repetition. You're focused on improving something, figuring out, why am I messing this up? Where am I doing wrong? I'm gonna break it down, I think, even better. I was playing Sekiro, okay? The Souls-like game, or Souls FromSoft. Look at my cat, dude. She's just sitting. I was playing Sekiro, and I was trying to beat a boss. I think his name is Genichiro Ashina or something, right? I don't play Souls games at all, so this is like my first one. I played Elden Ring, but I know Elden Ring, you can make it pretty easy, so it's a lot harder. And I was just trying over and over again. I was just trying to fight the boss. And then I realized that I am not focusing on what I'm doing wrong or improving. I just keep dying to the same things over and over again. And if I just keep trying without focusing it, I'm gonna keep dying. It's the same thing with training. I had to figure out okay, I keep getting hit by this move set he does. And then I would watch a video, maybe someone beating him or something like that, try to recreate what they did. And once I did that, I got to the phase 2 of the boss immediately. I've almost beat it. I probably could beat him if I put in a little bit more time. But I mean, that's a perfect example. I was just sitting there. I think I died to him like probably 50 times without focusing on what I'm doing wrong first. And you can spend all your time practicing. You can spend all your time playing the game and sit there and never improve because you're just doing the same thing over and over again. I think, I can't speak about anyone else's, any other cultures in other countries, but in America growing up, you always hear about the 10,000 hours thing. It's the hours people put in that makes them get better. I just don't think that's true. Now, that is important to put in the hours. If you don't practice ever, you don't do anything ever, you're never going to get good at it. You're not just going to go to sleep listening to fucking learn Japanese podcast and then wake up and know it. But you do have to sit there and focus on what you're doing wrong and find ways to fix it. And if you never do that, you will just never improve. So I wrote a script for the first part, not for the second part. So hopefully it's not too messy. But I just thought the second part, I would just ramble my thoughts on here. This is probably going to be a short video, but I'm going to try to keep uploading consistently. I can't promise like once a week or anything like that, but I do want to keep posting and hopefully streaming a lot more, playing. I'm almost level 8, which I shouldn't be focusing on, remember? But anyway, if you watched all the way here, thank you so much. We're halfway to getting monetized on YouTube, which is super exciting. Thank you everyone who subscribed recently. All right, sub if you aren't already, or else the monsters will get you. See ya.